Howdy, it's Jim Arado, and we are driving into Wilderness Road State Park in Virginia, and this is July 2022. We were actually down at the Cumberland Gap, the national park, and we were driving around, just kind of looking around and thinking about what else might be in the area, and we came across this, I don't want to say almost by accident, but almost by accident. It's $5 a car to go here, which is cheap. And they have a really nice little museum here. We'll look around at it here briefly. I'll just give you a quick run through. They've got some relics there. They've got a couple of cool paintings up. By the way, they have a nice gift shop also. I bought some stickers and patches there. I talked to a very nice young lady who worked there. You could tell she cared a lot about the park. And as you look out there, you can see that they have some more guides and brochures about other parks in Virginia. Anyway, this is Wilderness Road State Park, and it's very close, probably less than 10 miles from Cumberland Gap. And it's definitely something you should incorporate into your road trip when you go to the Cumberland Gap. And I've said this before, this area just grows on me more and more the more I'm here. You have a lot of history, and it's kind of subtle. You don't, I think we've all heard of the Cumberland Gap, but it takes a while to realize how significant that is. And how much history and just coolness there is in this area. Harrogate, Tennessee, they've got the Lincoln Memorial University with a really spectacular museum devoted to Abraham Lincoln. It's top notch. You've got the Cumberland Gap National Park, Cujo's Cavern. The town of Cumberland Gap, Tennessee is just a beautiful little town. Middlesboro, Kentucky. I could go on, but this area has just really grown on me, and this is something new I stumbled on, new to me, the other day, and I really liked what they were doing. The museum is kind of small, but it packs a wallop. There's a film that you can watch, and then they've also got kind of a classic pioneer village area, and that was really nice. We'll go walk through it here in a moment. But I filmed in the museum. I filmed in the Pioneer Village, or actually the fort. And I thought I would put up just a 10-minute or so video about some of the things I saw on this particular day. Anyway, here's a little recording inside the museum that I thought you might like.
This exhibit before you is a representation of the Treaty of Sycamore Shoals. In the autumn of 1774, Judge Richard Henderson formed the Transylvania Company. Henderson wished to purchase a vast tract of western wilderness lands from the Cherokees and establish a 14th proprietary colony. On the eve of the American Revolution, in March of 1775, Henderson met with more than 1,200 Cherokees at Sycamore Shoals, near present-day Elizabethton in Tennessee. Henderson proposed to purchase all the lands lying between the Cumberland River, the Cumberland Mountains, and the Kentucky River. Dragging Canoe, the fiery warrior, protested the purchase treaty in anger.
All Indian nations have melted away, like snow in the sun, before the white man's advance. We had hoped that the white man would not be willing to travel beyond the mountains. Now that hope is gone. Such treaties may be well for men who are too old to hunt or fight. As for me, I have my young warriors about me. We will hold our land.
In spite of Dragging Canoe's opposition, the Cherokee chiefs agreed to the massive land deal. Henderson employed Daniel Boone to cut a road from the Long Island Holston River to the bluegrass region of the Kentucky country. It is said that before leaving to cut the trace, Boone was taken aside by one of the Cherokee chieftains with whom he had been familiar and told,
"Brother, we have sold you a fine land, but you will have much trouble in settling it. I have seen a dark cloud over that country.
With those words perhaps ringing in his ears, Boone began to cut what we now call the Wilderness Road, a pathway that would change the course of history.
Yeah, and that was interesting. I kind of like that little display. Again, small museum, definitely worth a little bit of a walk through. I kind of like the room that it's displayed into. I think that's kind of neat. There's a little map there. Of course, Wilderness Road, credited to Daniel Boone, and in 1775. There's the Visitor Center. We're going to drive away from the Visitor Center. Up there on the left is the little gate we came in. You pay your $5, and you come on in. And we're going to just drive around the park here real quick. I did notice Wikipedia has kind of a nice brief summary of the state park, so I'm going to take some information from Wikipedia. It mentions that Wilderness Road State Park is located in southwestern Virginia near the Cumberland Gap and Ewing, Virginia. It consists of about 310 acres around the former Wilderness Road. Within it stands the Carlin Mansion and a replica of the original Martin Station Fort. And we did not go by the Carlin Mansion. I think it's mostly used for private events and that kind of stuff, but I might be wrong. And it mentions that there are over 9 miles of hiking trails. And there's the Wilderness Road Trail, which is 8.49 miles, used for hiking, biking, and horseback riding, which is pretty cool. And it parallels US 58. It mentions that Wilderness Road was built by Daniel Boone in 1775. It was the first road to connect the interior of the country with the populated coastline and allowed about 300,000 people to settle there after 25 years of use. Much of the original road's path is used by modern roads, but some areas, such as the area inside the park, have been preserved. And about Martin Station. Martin Station was a frontier fort originally located at nearby Rose Hill, Virginia. The station, consisting of several fortified cabins, was the only station between the start of the Wilderness Road at the Blockhouse in Virginia and Crab Orchard on the edge of the Kentucky settlement, a distance of some 200 miles. Throughout the period of the Wilderness Road's great activity, it remained the important intermediate station, according to historian William Allen Pusey. The fort has been reconstructed today within the park. It is named for the early explorer of the region and namesake of Martinsville, Virginia, Brigadier General Joseph Martin. So I thought that gives a little information about the mansion, which was built around 1870. So that's, pretty fascinating. And again, we're just kind of driving around the state park. The little road here, I mean, you can drive up and down it in just a few minutes. It almost seems deceptively small. And we realized, and we're kind of parking right now, and I'm walking around. There's this tree line up here. You see a cabin, and if you're not really aware of what's going on, you almost don't realize that there's a whole big fort or settlement up here, kind of past this tree line. It almost feels magical, like you walk past these trees and then you come into a whole lot of you just come into this big area here. And we were just about the only people here on this particular day for the hour or so we spent here. We weren't here very long. And they still had, as you'll see, lots and lots of reenactors, which I thought was just pretty darn neat. And we'll talk to a few of them coming up. We kind of drove up here. We were meeting our friends at the Cumberland Gap. We didn't have a whole lot of time, but we thought we could, come and check this place out briefly, and then get on with our day. And I wish we had allowed more time time here because it's just great. And I do look forward to coming back here. I know they have some programs and they do some other stuff, but I'm very excited about trying to get back here in the very, very near future. But we'll walk up here and I'll show you around and let you check out some of the buildings. I just wanted to take a quick peek back here, so thank you.
Well, if you have any questions, just grab one of us.
Sure, appreciate it. And there was a very nice lady kind of at the entrance to the fort here, asking if I had any questions, and and I just kind of told her I was just checking things out, and she was very sweet about stuff. I would have loved to have stopped and chatted with her, but again, this was more of a scouting mission. I was here to just check things out quickly. This kind of reminds me, I don't know if when you were a kid, if you came up, if you came up in the 60s, which is way before my time, but I do remember, hand-me-down toys, and I remember the old Marx forts, and this reminds me of a life-size version of some of those old Marx toy forts, which were so cool, and they're very collectible now. I paint toy soldiers myself, and I'll still, if I find some of the reproduction Marx figures, I'll paint those sometimes. They're a lot of fun. Really detailed for their time, too. If you buy a bag of Army Men these days, they're just not as detailed as the cool Marx toys from the 50s and 60s. I visited the Marx Toy Museum in West Wheeling, West Virginia, several years ago. I took some photos, but I didn't do a video, and I wrote about that on my blog. But sadly, that place is defunct now. It's no longer in existence, and I would love to go visit a Marx Toy Museum these days. Howdy.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you all?
Oh, a little warm, but doing all right.
A little warm, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don, you want to come get Susan's sack ready?
I'm sorry, what?
You want to come get Susan's sack ready?
Oh, no.
Don, you really should not have put the snake in the cabin.
And I'm sure they do that to everybody that comes by. They joke about the snake in the cabin, but I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, anyway, so you've got that nice fort. You've got these other buildings over here. We're about to see some people making candles. And again, this was just a brief kind of run through. And, I'm sure this was, I want to say maybe on a Thursday. It was an off day. And again, it was just pretty much me walking around. And you had all the settlers and the reenactors here, just kind of hanging out. So I bet this place is really hopping when on the weekends or when they're having a special presentation. But I thought that was pretty cool that they just had so many people around.
Yeah, he wants to get the young ones working there.
Howdy.
A woman's work is never done.
I understand. Ooh, it is warm today. God bless you guys with your long sleeves on. That is, and the fire's going.
I thank Tara for this because she's been doing really good on the candles.
Oh man.
I mean, when you need candles, you can't exactly.
You can't just not do them.
Yes.
I get them started and she can fly with them.
Oh. Yes.
She said, I'm just not messing with the fire.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do that.
You got to do better end of the bargain.
We can keep a fire going for cooking and everything, but I have not tried to work with wax.
She's afraid with the wax because, too hot it can't explode.
Yes. Yeah, and there you go. There was my brief look, and I edited this down some, but had a couple of nice conversations there. But that's our brief look at the Wilderness Road State Park in Virginia. I promise you, I'm going to put up some more videos about this place because I'm itching to get back here. I just loved everything about it. It's on a small scale, but it packs a heck of a wallop. And we're driving away from the visitor center there.